In this video, I'm going to reveal to you the secrets of long-term battery storage, what actually works. And you need this video because batteries actually have a range of effectiveness. And as preppers, there's nothing worse than going in to grab that item that you've stored up, you've prepared for that situation, and then it doesn't work. And batteries are no different than food or other things. If we don't care for them correctly, they're not going to actually be there for us when we need them. And so batteries actually have a range of effectiveness. At the lower end, if you don't store them properly, which we're going to reveal to you in this video, all of what you need to know, some specific hacks that take care of all of this stuff for you. But if you do it if you don't do it correctly, at the lower end, those batteries either won't work at all, or they're going to last for a very short time and then run out, and you're going to have to pop through a lot of them, and it loses a lot of your investment into those batteries. On the higher end, if you do store them properly, according to the hacks we're going to share with you in this video, those batteries are going to last the full length, and you're going to have them there when you need them. So in this video, we're going to share with you how do you store those batteries in the most effective way possible and get the most out of those battery preps. So all of that is coming up. Okay guys, so batteries are a part of so many different items, from flashlights to other items that you may need a battery in when you do emergency preparedness. And so we need to talk about this. We need to talk about what are battery storage hacks for preppers. And so to unpack this, we do what we always do on this channel. We look into the Reddit threads. And so there's so much information out there when it comes to prepping and so many topics, right? What you need is not more information, but wisdom and implementation. How do you cut through the information with implementation? That's where we draw this out from the Reddit thread. So in this thread, talking about battery storage, I plan to store AA and AAA batteries. Most gadgets use these battery types is what they say. That's true. What are the do's and don'ts of battery storage? This thread, guys, was pure gold. There was so much wisdom that came out of looking at this particular Reddit thread. And so let's look at some of the trends that we saw in the thread itself. And there was a preference for lithium batteries. People talked about when it comes to rechargeable batteries, this particular brand of Eneloop. And then after that, there was talk about battery storage best practices. That's what we're going to dig into here in just a second and talk about how you can hack that with some hacks I'm going to share with you. And then concerns about rechargeable batteries, organization and maintenance, and general battery care. So those things emerged in the threads, and with that, there were some battery storage methods mentioned that you need to know about. So room temperature storage, critical to make sure that batteries work when you need them. Avoid moisture, right? Avoid direct sunlight. Use plastic batteries, storage boxes, regular inventory checks, and temperature control. These are all really top-notch quality advice for when it comes to battery storage. But with all that advice, that still kind of leaves us with but what do you do? How do you actually achieve these ends that are talked about in the thread? So let's talk about some hacks that you can do to achieve these ends. And the first one is vacuum sealing batteries. Yes, that's right, vacuum sealing batteries. So there's a lot of different ways that vacuum sealing can be really helpful when it comes to preps of all different kinds. And it usually comes down to protection against moisture as a top thing. So when it comes to batteries, preventing moisture from getting in, it prevents corrosion of the batteries themselves. So pretty critical that we avoid that. Vacuum sealing achieves that. It also extends the shelf life because it reduces exposure to air and the contaminants that increase the battery's longevity. So vacuum sealing is pretty key, right? And then compact storage. So it makes it easier to store batteries in a more organized manner just because of the way that vacuum sealing holds everything together. What you're going to like about it is it not only achieves that long-term extending the battery life through protecting moisture, extending shelf life, but it also is going to hold them all together. So if you organize them as you put them into the vacuum sealing bag in the way that you want them, and then you vacuum seal it, it's going to hold them in place. It's going to hold those batteries right where they need to be. And then you can, from there, put this into that temperature-controlled dark space that you have other preps in, maybe where you have your food, because that's what you need for your food as well. And then you're going to know that when you open this up, those batteries are going to be there ready for you. So that's a great tip right there, just to place these batteries in a vacuum sealing bag, remove the sealer or the vacuum sealer, and then seal the bag tightly and label it. it. Make sure you label it with the current date for reference. So one other tip I want to add to you, that right there, that's a pretty good hack that will make sure that you extend the life of your batteries. I'm going to share one more with you today, and that is this, that using silica gel packs is actually pretty key. And I'm sure you've seen these. They come with a lot of different items, and when they're shipped to you, people will include silica gel packs in there. What these do, so I'm not sure if you ever thought through what do they actually do. Why do people include the silica gel packs? They are moisture absorbers. So people include them in the shipping containers because those shipping containers can get into wet, damp conditions. And what silica gel packs do is they absorb the moisture and they prevent battery corrosion. So alongside of that idea of vacuum sealing, if you don't want to invest into vacuum sealing, you could invest in this, which is has a multifunctional use as well. So the silica gel packs are going to be useful in rice. If you want a long-term storage of rice or other grains, including some of these in there will be helpful for that as well. So they're going to absorb that moisture. They also help with humidity control. So you want to have a consistent environment in which you're storing these batteries. This maintains that dry environment within the storage container that you have them in. So silica gel packs are super helpful. So you can purchase these. Where do you get these? They're available online. Of course, you can just get them on Google, that kind of, or on Amazon. You can also get them at hardware stores. So if you go to a hardware store like Lowe's or Home Depot, you can buy them there. And then you can reuse them also from other packaged goods that you've already purchased. So if you buy something online that comes with silica gel packs, save them. And then you can actually use them in storing your batteries long term. So if you're looking for the cheapest option, this might be the cheapest option. So as you're ordering other items, save the silica gel packs, add them in with your batteries, and then just make sure those batteries are stored in an airtight condition and into a cool, temperature controlled place. So you're going to also want to make sure that you are rotating your stock as you go, right? Okay, so we'll talk about that here in a second. But you're going to want to make sure that you include these and put these into a plastic bin and make sure that you rotate them. And that prevents the batteries from expiring before they're used. And then you're going to want to label them. So you can mark each battery with the purchase date or at least group them together by purchase date, right? So let's talk about some key points that as you put them into these either airtight, sealed, vacuum sealed bags, or you use silica gel packs, what are the keys to making sure they last long term? And that's proper environment and organization. And there's some keys underneath each one of these. So when it comes to proper environment, you want to make sure that they're in a cool, dry place, right? And avoiding extreme temperatures. So it's not about just being like if it's got to be perfectly hot, perfectly cold, but it's about being in sort of middle of the road conditions of temperature wise, and then also dry and cool. And so then there's also light. Also, you should try to avoid having too much light on them. That can also lead to corrosion and lead to lower long-term shelf life. And then organization is the other key. So alongside a proper environment for your batteries, the other key factor to longevity is organization. And you're going to want to use battery storage cases and label these batteries with the purchase dates so that you make sure that they last the length that you expect them to. So those hacks are pretty key to make sure that you have what you need when you need it, right? And if you are unsure if you have all the preps that you need, I'm going to make one more pitch to you. This is really a really key piece. If you're not sure, like, what do I actually need for those first few weeks for potential prepared survival situation, whether that is a grid down situation, whether that is a government or civil unrest, whether that's a natural disaster. There's a whole bunch of different things that could come at you. Are you ready for the first few weeks after that? Are you ready for the first few months? And then are you ready for a longer term? Each of those has some different dynamics to it. We actually provide a resource linked in the description below that's free to you that can help you begin to get a handle on what stage of preparedness are you ready for. Are you ready for the SHTF situation at a more 3-week level, a 3-month level, or a long-term level? And what's your next step in preparedness? Get that free resource so that you can take the next step in your preparedness journey. It'll set you up right with what that next step looks like. And we also want to hear from you. What have you learned about battery storage methods that we didn't mention in this video? Leave a comment below. Leave a like on this video. That tells us, hey, keep making great content like this. When you leave a like, when you subscribe to the channel, that actually tells us what you want more of. And so if you liked this content, if this was helpful to you, leave a like on the video so that we can double down and make more great content that serves you and makes sure that we are all prepared for what's to come.